Hey everyone, this is Dimensions of the Supernatural. I'm Maureen Grudzinski of Lil Witchy, and I'm here with my great co-host Anthony Simonelli, otherwise known as
Hey, Mr. Forget About It. How you doing tonight? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Tonight, we are here with another thrilling guest. His name is Gary W. White. He's going to tell you some amazing stories.
It's gonna be
And
a good
do you
show
believe
tonight.
the truth
Yeah,
is out there? Right?
the truth is out there.
It
We just have to
is.
look for it.
So
Find
let's
it.
bring Gary in. We'll ask him some questions. We'll hear more about him, and you can ask him some questions as well. It is really amazing what he's told us so far.
Yeah, it's
Hi,
cool.
Gary.
What's going on? Hi,
There he
Brain. Hi,
goes.
Ann.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Good.
So,
So, Gary, just to prepare you, we have an amazing group of comments already coming in. Our comment section is very active. They're going to ask you a ton of questions. They're already off to the races. Hi, everybody. So, tell us about who you are. We know that you have been a contactee since years back, and you are very involved with um, extraterrestrial activity. So, how did it begin? When did it start?
Okay. First encounter I can remember is probably about 5 years old, which sounds very common with a lot of people that come in
mhm.
contact with things. Um, I'm a little boy. I'm in my bed and I'm hearing shuffling around in my room, and I call for my mom, and she comes in. She says, "No, you're dreaming." And I'm no, I was awake. I was awake, and she says, "No, you're imagining it, dreaming." It's happened a couple of times. From
Mhm.
what I'm to understand, they frightened me too much, so they backed off. Um,
Yeah.
this happened once again. I lived in Canada for a year when I was a kid. My dad's company, bit job, and the whole family lived in Canada for like a year, and I could sense these beings outside my bedroom at night, but they never came in. Um, Never bothered me. Then it went away until
So they were kind of watching you.
they were watching me and
Yeah.
Anthony. Um, they were doing these what I call their genetic development program. Most people call abductions. I look at a lot of this whole UFO thing. You'll come realize I look at it different. Okay,
Mhm.
it is genetic development. They've been doing this with me since I was a little boy, and they still are abductions. If that's what most people want to call them, anyways. So anyway, I'm late 20s, and I'm got a coworker, and I'm driving him home from work, and we're talking, and he goes silent, and he's not answering, and I look off to the side, and there's this mothership, and this thing is huge. It's like the
Oh.
size of a couple of shopping malls, and it's just sitting there, and it's spinning very slowly. So I drive towards it. This is in Sunnyvale, California, heart of Silicon Valley, right by Moffett Field. And I found that kind of strange. I see a guy walking carrying his bike across these railroad tracks. It's by the 49ers Stadium and what was called Great America back in the day. But, anyways, he's carrying his bike, and I'm going, "Can't you see this thing?" And he's looking at me like, "What are you tripping on?" And my friend that's with me is freaking out. He doesn't want to go near it. He wants to go home. He sees it, it's scaring him. So I drive at this, and I'm saying it's a UFO. He's going, "No, no, no, it's not a UFO. I want to go home." And I get a feeling that I'm being watched. So I look up, and following my car are two look similar, a lot smaller. They're spinning faster, following that this object knows that I see, knows that we're heading towards it. So we head towards it, ends up getting very, very emotional to the point of crying, wants to go home. So I turn around, it's gone. No more. The little ones, the big ones. So later on down the road, they do this with a lot of people. We'll have these first amazing sightings that you look at this and go, that could not possibly anything. And it's like a light switch. And with me, I started reading and studying to find out everything about aliens, UFOs, and spirituality, why we were here. I didn't go to church as a kid. My mom and dad said we're going to let me and my brother grow up and decide what we want to do with religion. So I had no religion. I started reading books, and I guess it came to my 30s. I started having near-death experience and feeling like my brain's flipping upside down. My anxiety, and I'm trying to figure: do I got a tumor? Have I got an aneurysm? What's going on? At this particular time, I was homeless. I lived in the back of a truck. Okay, and about day-to-day survival, and I keep going through these near-death experiences. As I said to Maureen, and at one point, it starts happening really bad, and I'm going, okay, this is my day. I'm laying down in the back of this truck that I sleep in, and I'm accepting the fact that I'm dying. I lay down in the back of this truck, and the anxiety head rush goes away, and a voice comes and starts talking to me. And they explain that there's an energy around this planet. That's the closest way I could explain it. It's black and white. We tap in, and it's a creative
Gary,
band.
really, your audio is breaking up a little bit.
Okay. Did you catch the part with the band of energy around the planet?
Yes.
Yes. It's creativity. So I'm a musician. I'm an artist. They show me how you tap into this energy belt and you get creative ideas, and then it comes out of us colored with their personality. So they show me a song, Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. And then they show me a song that I wrote myself and how we both tapped into this energy belt, and it came out colored with our personality. I'm going, wow. So then they give me a song, getting this music coming. Grant, I'm still laying down, face first, the back of the truck, and I ask for violins and cellos come in. I ask for a vocal line, and I start singing. So this went on for a couple of hours, and I guess I just fell asleep. It just went away. To this day, I don't remember. I woke up the next day, and they're not there. I'm kind of asking in my head, are you guys still around? Because nothing was verbal. It was all mental, communicating with this voice, except for when it was the only time my mouth actually moved. So it quit happening. I'm still getting the anxieties coming and going, and I'm going, okay, obviously not physical. This is obviously something spiritual, okay? So it starts to happen. I lay down in the back of my truck once again, going, this won't go away. It won't stop. I'm going to die. Voice comes in, starts talking to me, explaining things, and then I realize I need to get up and answer the call of nature. And I'm going, okay, if I get up, you're going to be gone again. And they're all going with you your whole life, and we will be with you the rest of your life. And okay, so I get up and I'm doing my thing, and they tell me there's a cop coming, police car. And I go, okay, I get back in the back of this truck, and I'm looking out my little gap in the window, and sure enough, here comes a cop car. So I, at that point, go, wow, whatever this is, at this point, I don't know what it is. It's a voice, okay? It knows what's going on, bare minimum. So I tell them I don't want to go to sleep, because if I go to sleep, again, you're going to be gone. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to want to talk with you. You're going to be gone. And they said, no, we're going to be with you the rest of your life. Tomorrow, we will be there. So the next day I wake up. Good morning, Gary. How are you? They just start going, talking to me. And they did this for a couple of days. And I finally said, hey, I need kind of my mind back. It's like bombardment of information. So they said, okay, we'll back off and we'll answer questions if need. We will chime in on things. So okay, I'm going. I got psychic abilities, and I start answering questions for people that I know. I was working in a telemarketing office, trying to make money, living in the back of this truck, delivering coupon books, and I'm answering questions. And one guy says, I don't mean this as an insult, but this voice that's talking to me, and they used to actually talk through me. Craziest. My mouth would go. They would talk through my mouth, and I could think with my own thought process. Shows me they were my body. Okay. So I'm answering questions for a friend of mine from India about his family, the culture, and that. And people are looking at me going, you can't possibly know this stuff. I go, I don't. So a few months go by. I'm sitting in the back of my truck and I'm reading a book about these humanoid aliens that basically wanted to present themselves to humanity. So certain individuals came out and said, look, we're alien. We're not human. And they did this artwork, and these people artwork, and it would make them do strange things. It was like hypnotic. So I'm reading this book, and I'm in the back of my truck, trying to figure out how am I going to get out of this, where am I going to get food, where am I going to get gas. And something has me look up at the clouds, and I see a little, what looks like a wireframe of a UFO come out from the cloud, go back in. I'm like, what the heck? And it goes, boom, boom, does it again. They tell me we're the ones that have been communicating over these past few months. So at that point, I'm going, okay. I think back at the mothership, and I'm all, wow, is it real? Is this mental illness? I had to take a real hard look at myself. I'm in the back of a truck. I don't have access to healthcare, to mental health, none of that. So I start questioning everything that's going on. And after that first little wireframe UFO, I started seeing these on a nightly basis. I'm seeing a lot of people now. This has become very common. If you're in these UFO groups and you're everybody's stories, so I'm seeing these orbs and I'm seeing this, and it's like every night they come to me. I went through that, and I did psychic readings. I thought, okay, this is what I'm here for, to help people. They basically said humanity has lost the will to help each other. So this whole bit that I'm doing is to help people. And I tried doing it in business. It didn't work. I didn't feel right about it. So I decided I need to help people and not charge them. I did readings for probably 10, 15 years. I did try working on the lost children. I found a guy on America's Most Wanted that was wandering around in a place homeless go to eat, that point, I realized who they are, what they are, and started asking a ton of questions. And after doing the psychic readings for a while, and I know I helped a lot of people, it was a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, but I realized in part it's for helping people, but a big part of this, it's not about me. It's about them and the information with me.
Yeah.
That's what I've been on getting out.
So that's interesting how everything went. I mean, if you were religious, they would say there were angels, beings watching and helping you. But I mean, they're, what were they? You said they come to you like human form. Do they take over a body, do they take over somebody's body, or do they can they transform their physical self into something else, like a person?
Okay, exactly this is what they do, Ann. They're a spiritual being. They're basically, when we die, we become a spiritual being. Okay. In between, if you follow, I'm in Buddhism thing, you're a spirit. Okay. They're a spirit. They're no different than we are. When they manifest physically, it's through molecular manipulation. They can speed up and slow down molecular structures, an object, a phone, a person. So they could be standing right next to you. Everything is spinning at a rate and you can't see it. They slow this down and they become physical.
Okay.
It's basically, I'm seeing them physical. They could appear as any of these types of alien looking beings, a human. They could appear animal. That's what shapeshifter. This is basically what shapeshifter.
That's what it is. Shapeshifters or skinwalkers. That might have been what the Indians, the Native Americans, seen way back when, before anybody came over here, because that's what they talk about, shapeshifters, and so maybe that's what they seen.
Exactly.
That's
it. Is. It is.
And
Gary,
that's good.
What is your blood type?
Excuse me?
What is your blood type?
I don't know my blood type. Great. Okay, I'm back.
You're
We were
here.
kind of pinging. You know how it's that robot sounding stuff?
Yeah. You were kind of in and out before, and then you were solid for a little while, and then it was like, bing, gone. We got you back, though. So you've never had your blood type tested?
No. As a matter of fact, I'm diabetic. Okay, insulin dependent diabetic. And I asked my doctor, "Can I get my blood type done?" And they said no, which I find kind of odd. It seems they would want you to know your blood type. Okay,
Yeah.
They told me what I needed to do is go donate blood. Okay,
They want you to
but
donate?
I go to donate blood. They say I can't because I'm diabetic.
So they probably want you to donate because type O is it's universal.
Well,
But the whole thing is type O. A lot of people with the UFOs and alien stuff, they say type O is a different type of blood. It's more like an alien type, a race of blood. So that's why they're probably asking you type of blood.
Me.
I got a red.
I may get dark because this may get dark because I'm doing this pinging and I'm going into a different part of the house that maybe it'll get better reception where you could hear me better and I could hear you.
Hi, Maria.
Again, giddy dog.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it didn't help any.
You're a little louder.
I'm a little louder?
Yeah.
Is it getting worse?
No, you seem to be solid.
Okay, let me try right here. Oh, okay. In regards to the
RH negative is supposed to be alien also. RH negative is typically involving like a hybrid of alien and angels.
I guess I'm no angel.
What they've shared with me about the blood types is the different types of blood type and the genetic development procedures with. The blood type determines where they're being used on what planet, because basically what they're doing is using genetics from Earth on other planets to develop beings. So it's not just specifically RH negative is involved with ETs. Any of these could be.
Yeah.
It just depends on what galaxy they're. Apparently, our genetics are used all throughout the multiverse.
So, like the aliens are like integrating with humans. Then, also, you saying that's why the blood types are like that, or it's a genetic that they're half human, half alien, from another planet. The person, being born, whatever.
Well, I can only speak for myself. Me, I'm an ordinary human. I'm just like you guys. I just apparently have worked in 113 previous lives with these beings in preparation to what I'm doing right now, which is why I can continuously communicate with them. And it's very easy for me to do. My encounter has been I word it as angelic. Okay. I've experienced a little bit of this terror side with these beings that are, here's a story. Wake up, I feel something going on in my bedroom. I look at my closet. There's a 6-7 foot half man, half praying mantis in my closet staring at me, and he moves kind of like a spider. And I'm freaking out, and he's telling me, "We have never hurt you." And they haven't. I got over 100 scars on my body, which recently they explained what the scars are about, but there's never been no pain, no blood, no scabs. I wake up and I got these scars.
Oh, okay.
And, but for the most part, it's been very angelic. It's been a very enlightening experience. It's been about helping people and sharing information. I have a goal before I die to help millions of people on this planet. And I don't keep track of numbers or none of that, but I'm pretty sure at this point I'm in the area of thousands of people I've helped worldwide, and I don't ask for a cent. And I've heard this is common, that they will contact people and they put you on this path of helping people. So I've committed to this, and I've kind of said, okay, this year, I've never had a lot of money. I've always lived hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. I'm currently doing that now, and I help people for free. But now, as of this year, things are going to change. I will never charge anybody to help them. I will never charge to share this information, but I got to find a way to make money, because I got a business idea called Work for Life that's to help fix broken lives through life skills, job training, teaching them a young unwed mother that's got a child that has nothing but McDonald's in her future, to teach them a trade in nursing, CNA, something more productive and fulfilling. Teach them that you got to get up and you got to brush your teeth and you got to take a shower, make the breakfast, clean the house. Because a lot of kids these days, starting with my generation, and I'm 61, were raised with a television set, and they don't know how to go about life. So first you get them job skills, and then you teach them how to develop credit, buy a house, and set up for a retirement, so they don't got to go through the life I went through. Which, going back to the name of my book I'm writing, Theoretical Gift, 1 foot in Buddhism, 1 foot planted firmly in hell. My life has not been fun. And if I could save people from that, that's great. But I need money.
You and I are the same age. I'm 61 also.
Oh, are you? You're born in 62.
I am too.
Same with
August 62.
August, mine's December.
Oh.
So
I'm older than you.
You're a bit older than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
so
thought
that's kind of
get into a contest of bragging about who's older.
I say it.
I want to be younger.
Yeah.
So well, they say Maureen, when this first happened to me, and I got this voice talking through me, and it's answering questions to people about stuff that I don't know about. And I'll be very, very honest with you people. I'm a high school dropout. I was a C, D, and F student. I did so lousy in school, I barely made it through school. And I got this intelligent information coming through me. I thought I was going to be world famous and rich in a matter of 6 months.
Do you think that it was because not that you were, a C, D, and F student, or was it more that you were just bored because you needed a bigger challenge?
No. I think, to be honest with you, Maureen, I think I was majorly distracted. I've got a lot goes on in my head, obviously. And when I was a kid, up until I realized what was going on and who I'm dealing with and the information started to come, I thought this was just me, normal for everybody and going on in my head. But it was distracting. I mean, when you're sitting in school and they're teaching you and they're telling you with visual cartoons that you can mentally see a comic scenario about your teacher and what they're doing outside of school and their life outside of school, makes it kind of hard to concentrate on your schoolwork.
It's funny you say that, because every time something happens and it's like a funny thing to me, and it may not be as funny to other people, I end up seeing it in like a comedy type skit, and it just gets funnier and funnier and I end up laughing when I'm not really supposed to be, but that's how it plays out in my head.
I fully understand. I've seen people look at me like, what is this dude laughing at? And, Maureen, and you've got a connection to these beings. And I would bet everything I got, it's the same thing that I'm dealing with.
Probably.
It's not your own thoughts.
Talked a little bit about that. And, they kind of watch me. And when you said that you have these things come out of your mouth, sometimes I'm talking to someone and it's not even something I thought of. It's just things that I'm kind of almost repeating from someone else. And I don't even realize what I'm saying until it all just comes out. And there it is.
Yeah, I've experienced that. And I don't know, Maureen, if you've ever experienced where you're sitting in a room with somebody and all of a sudden I'm watching TV, okay? And you see a certain sitcom's on at this time. Then all of a sudden you come out and it's like an hour later, and the person that's in the room with you is seriously upset for what you have just told them over the last hour. I've been through that where
And
they've
you don't
talked to
even
people
remember it.
no, don't remember at all. There's an ex-girlfriend of mine that since I've been doing this, and I was with her when I was probably about 23, 24. And I started telling her, this is check out what I've been going through. I don't want to mention her name. This is what I'll call her Alice. Alice, I've gone through these UFOs, da, 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 da. And she's all, Gary, you told me about all of this in your parents' living room back when we used to date. And I'm all, Alice, I didn't know this back then. I had no idea of this. So apparently they've done this throughout my whole life. And I, like you said, you see these cartoons and it's humorous, and they got a very good sense of humor. I'll say that.
They do.
And a lot of times, Maureen, they do it with me when I'm depressed and I'm down and I'm sad, and they will make me laugh and bring me back up.
Yeah.
You're the first person I've come across that said you've experienced the same thing.
Yeah. They, I don't really have depression or anxiety or anything. I kind of have like a very grim sense of humor, and people don't really get it, but it's supposed to be funny. It's just odd, and I don't know. And this has been going on since I was a little kid. It just I wasn't really aware of it until I started putting a couple things together. But I wasn't a terrible student. I didn't really have to study. I just kind of was not paying attention to what was going on. I just wasn't challenged enough. But I was distracted, like you said, and I really hated anything organized religion, organized politics, organized learning, anything of that nature. I would start to look up something and I would go down the rabbit hole, and I would have learned 75 things within the next 3 hours, and it went from daylight to dark, and I learned all these things on my own, and I couldn't be bothered with school or anything else. I'd rather do it on my own.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of like with me, but mine all happened after I got out of school. I wanted to be a cartoonist. So in high school, I took a lot of art classes. I wanted to work for Mad Magazine is what I really wanted to do. But
So did I.
Did you really, Anthony?
Yeah,
So,
I got accepted into Art and Design Manhattan school that's for art, and I ended up not going there because I went to another school because all my friends went there instead. But yeah, I still do. I got cartoons. I draw. I draw too. But the other day I was digging through some of my old pictures, and from high school, and I have Tony's Troubles. I have a bunch of different cartoons that I actually made. And I never put them out there, but it's in folders and stuff. Yeah, but cartooning, I can still do it. I mean, I enjoy that, that stuff.
I haven't much for the past, I would say 5 years. I've kind of dropped music, art, and all of that, and have been focusing on this. But yeah, when I was 14, I saw the band Kiss in 1977 in San Francisco. It was August 16th, 1977, the day Elvis died. And I saw them live, and Gene Simmons, I said, that's what I want to do right there. And it kind of changed, and started playing bass guitar, and I pursued the bands, and I've played music since I was 16, and kind of took me down. I had a lot of fun.
You and I are going down the same road because I'm a drummer. I've been in out of bands. Yeah.
Wow.
Percussionist. I play drums. I played congas. I played all kinds of percussion instruments like that.
More hand drums?
Basses. Huh?
More hand drums.
Yeah. I got a kit, Oh,
did you have a kit? Okay, cool.
Yeah. My bands are Kiss, and I started off with Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and of course Kiss got in there. But those are my, So, yeah.
The first one is kind of getting off topic of the UFO thing. But with me, it was when I was really little, and my mom's 45 records and Creedence Clearwater Revival was the first band that really caught my attention. Then Elton John, then Kiss.
Oh, yeah. My parents were from the '50s, so Billie Holly and all those people I listened to, and my father listened to '40s music, so I listened to all the big band stuff.
Gotcha.
So I love that, and then of course then I got into metal. So
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
Wow. Too bad we're on the other sides of the country.
You go jam sometime. I would,
Exactly.
get
That
my
would be
sticks
fun.
out. I got my
I
big
miss it.
sticks right here.
I still got all my equipment, Anthony, but yeah, I don't currently play as of right now. I got other things I'm doing.
Yeah, well, that would be cool. Go jamming. We could bring, you have your people, come in too. That maybe they could help us get a band together.
Maybe they could.
You know,
Maybe they could.
we could
Maybe they could.
Go into classical all over the world, all over the solar system, universe.
Okay. Well, one thing I've learned from them, and this you can see this in musicians like Sammy Hagar. If you listen to his story about how they came to him when he was like 15, Jimi Hendrix didn't come out. Nothing come out until after he was dead. But he was a contactee. He communicated with these beings. All these different musicians that have had contact with them, John Lennon, Bootsy Collins, and George Clinton. They help us apparently to develop creative abilities. It could be art, it could be cooking, it could be music. Okay. And like myself, they've helped me with creative development. They've helped me with what they call higher mental development, which is the psychic abilities with the communication and whatnot. And in exchange for this, they do what people call abductions. But I don't like that word because, at least in my case, I got to speak for myself only. What I've learned, I chose to be part of this. It's part of my soul contract. Before you're born, you make a series of choices of what you're going to learn in a life. If you got karmic debt you got to pay back or whatever it is you're going to learn, it's all in your soul contract.
I agree.
And this is part of my soul contract to be involved with them.
If it's not violent, it's not really like an abduction. Mine wasn't violent.
Mine aren't either. But Maureen, I don't remember that side of it. I don't have the closest I remember to being abducted is being led out through my back door, green light, one of them in front of me, one of them in back of me, and then that's it. They would occasionally wake me up when they drop me off. And one is I'm laying in bed and people say, well, that's just paralysis. So you're laying in bed, your arm's laying off the side of the bed. All of a sudden, this being puts their hand in my hand, and I feel it's like deer antler. It's velvety, 3 long fingers, and I'm freaking out. I can't move. I can't scream. I can't open my eyes. I could do one thing. I could bend his arm all the way back to his finger. His arm goes backwards, and his fingers are touching his forearm. And once again, he's saying, why are you trying to hurt us? We've never hurt you.
Aww.
And I just don't have memories of it. I know it goes on. But this time around, it's part of my agreement that I don't remember this. Now, they've explained this to me, that this holds true with the reincarnation process. It's multiple lives. We're learning complete physical human understanding, what it is to be human. Now, this takes anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 lives to learn all of these lessons. So in order to learn complete human understanding, you got to learn the good, you got to learn the bad. You can't just learn one. They say it starts off, and I use this as an example for a lot of things. It starts off like Jeffrey Dahmer and ends in unconditional love. Now, they say the whole thing, when you become involved with them, it's a multiple life commitment. It's not one life you get abducted, then next life you move on and you'll never deal with them. It's multiple lives you're working with them. And it starts out with terror, and it ends up basically what I'm doing now. It's like I said, it's angelic. My problem has been people. I've not had good luck with people. I've had a rough life.
As a paranormal investigator, I know that for sure. I never have the problem with the dead. I always have the problem with the living.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's I've got on this topic with people before about the whole passing over thing, and one guy posted, I seen on Facebook last night, he posted it so well. It says you could sit outside of this tunnel and this light, and you could be stuck for hundreds of years, or you can go through this light and you can move on through this process. You know?
So I got a question. You said there's
Sure.
multiple lives. Is that why you
Mhm.
became Buddhist? Because of reincarnation?
I guess you could say so. They were the ones that turned me on to the Buddhism, okay, and the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And they basically said, you know, we got all these different religions were basically created by man, but they said Buddhism is the closest to reality with the reincarnation. They said the Hinduism is what Buddhism basically comes from, but Hinduism, they get into all these different deities, and it's like mythology and different animals and what. And they said this Buddhism was this individual Buddha meditated and meditated and meditated till he got the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the process we're going through reincarnation to learn this physical human understanding. So Anthony, they put me with that as a basis of what they started to teach me.
See what I got in my hand?
What is it? I can't see.
Oh,
My phone.
a Buddha.
Oh,
A Buddha statue.
is it? Right on.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them.
So you're a Buddhist?
No, I'm not. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Roman Catholic. But I listen to other people's religions.
Good.
And I take it all in because a lot of things from other people's religions make sense to me. Not everything, but bits and pieces of you know, I feel, yeah, could be. Like Buddha reincarnation. I believe people could be reincarnated, you know, and some of this stuff. And it's more of a peaceful type of religion also than a lot of the other religions.
Gotcha.
You know, because I did that. I like chi and all this other stuff too. But yeah, so I take in bits and pieces of everybody's religion, and I, you know, and I take that into you know, effect of, you know, of what my beliefs are and things too. There you go. So
Gary, Hope asked if you ever corresponded with Travis Walton or Tom Conwell.
You kind of cut out, Maureen. What was the question?
Hope asked if you had ever corresponded with Travis Walton or Tom Conwell.
I've tried contacting Travis Walton. I believe Travis Walton is 100% telling the truth. My guide shared some information with me, and this is why I wanted to contact Travis Walton. Is what was he doing when he was out there? He was the supervisor or the manager for a company. They're clear cutting forest. Okay, that's exactly why he went through this abduction experience out there the way he did. Most people go through this right out of their bedrooms. You know what I'm saying? It happened to him out where they're clear cutting forest. And these beings, apparently per universal law, they just can't come out and tell you something. They could nudge you in a direction. Okay. And what it is they can't affect our decision-making process because that's a big part of our learning, the ramifications from our decisions. So yeah, I did try to contact him. I've never been able to speak with him. I've tried to contact anybody and everybody in this UFO community, and I've never been successful at doing it. I've recently tried to contact Joe Rogan like 13 times through his agent, and I just don't get a response from him. And it's funny, the last time, and I finally gave up after this, I sent Joe Rogan a message, and it was a joke. It's like, okay, which is easier to contact, an extraterrestrial or Joe Rogan? And,
Probably
it's funny that Hope brought that up because Tim and Tom Conwell is going to be on our show the 18th of this month. And
and who is this?
Friendly with Tim and Tom. The Conwell.
Okay.
That's going to be on the show this morning.
Now, from what I'm to understand, I've watched the Joe Rogan. I think it was his interview with Bob Lazar, because I'm big into Bob Lazar. That's another dude that I think is fully telling the truth. This guy's not making this up. you go through this, and you're an investigator, Anthony. You go through this, and you basically can tell when someone's authentic or someone's making it up. But I'm watching this Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar, and Joe Rogan doesn't like people that claim to communicate with these beings.
Okay.
So that's what I figured. Well, he just doesn't believe people like me that maybe we're making it up or maybe we're delusional. I don't know what the details of what he thinks on that, but I gave up.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not meant to happen. I like Joe Rogan. I dig on Joe Rogan since the show News Radio. I've followed his career, the UFC, all of that bit. And I love his shows. He's got some really good shows. But with that being said, I think he kind of closes his mind to some things.
You have to have an open mind with all of this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I find it all fascinating because what we do too as investigators, and people could be like, "You guys are crazy too." Yeah, you're seeing ghosts, and a lot of times we come across people on our show or investigations or whatever that actually do they go for the spirits, ghost, or and they go for all three things: cryptics, UFOs, and ghost. So, I mean, they feel sometimes that it's all connected, with the UFOs and the ghost and everything, especially certain areas. So,
yes,
I mean, I come across a lot of people like that too. Well, we come across a lot of people like that. So it's an interesting topic to be doing. I mean, and people are going to be closed-minded. They're going to be closed-minded. I mean, I've been in it such a long time, and you've been doing such a long time that you're not going to be able to talk to everybody about it because people are going to shut you down or make fun of you or, just let them be because they're closed-minded to certain things. Hey, if they want to believe, they believe. They don't,
The problem is that a lot of those people have never seen it, and like for me, I mean, I've had abilities since I was a really young child, and the magic number seems to be age 3 or 4. So I'll be 50 in July. I've been doing this a long time as well, not necessarily as an investigator, but I was investigating without knowing I was investigating. I was doing Reiki without knowing I was doing Reiki. You know what I mean? So like even as a little kid, I was still in this field without knowing I was in this field. So the people that think that we're crazy or that we're kooks or that we're quacks, whatever they want to use as a terminology, they can bite me because they didn't know what it was like waking up and having aliens around my bed or, being able to see men laying in my bed next to me who were completely blue and see-through from the waist down, or, having my mom pass away traumatically after taking care of her and walking into my bedroom and having her sit on my bed talking to me. They don't know what that's like. They need to open their minds before they can be able to see it, number one, because if you have a closed mind, you're never going to see it. Number two, start investigating. Go on on an investigation with someone. And I never call it a hunt because I think it's repulsive to say that you're hunting people. I don't care if they have a meat suit or no meat suit. Call it an investigation. Jenny, I keep using the word data now that I have been enlightened to not using the word evidence. And paranormal lasagna, I love it. And, there are layers and layers and layers of different eras or, types of things. I do full-heartedly believe that it's not just spirits. It's not just cryptids. It's not just, leprechauns, vampires, werewolves. And you know what? People say that they don't believe in those things because they don't exist. I'm telling you right now, if people in this country, in Ireland, in England, in Germany, in Scotland, wherever the hell they are, they didn't have phones, cell phones, pagers, whatever it was, at the time that they were writing about these things, they all said exactly what these things look like, and they were all on the money when they compared one thing to another person's writing. They must have seen them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to be exactly the same from one writing to another. I'm telling you, there's got to be something.
Well, look, in Egypt, they're finding inside the pyramids, or they're finding all these different things in caves, from thousands of years, and there's always a form in there that looks like something from an alien, or maybe a ship, or something in the sky. So, they probably came down to all these people. That's how I think some of the progress that we went through. Look at the early 19th century, when we just starting with cars, to what the car is today. They're running by batteries. And I think they had all that technology. Yeah, maybe Area 51, there was a real thing that happened there. And maybe they are experimenting with them. Maybe they're building things with them. Well, we may never know. But I feel that there is something outside this planet that actually helped us progress into what we are today.
Well, even, I mean,
we're looking at each other. When we were kids, Gary, do you think the phone was on the wall? A little.
Yeah.
We never thought we could be talking to each other. You
No.
Face to face. You're in Nevada. I'm in New York City here.
No, but we did think that we get hung by the cord.
Yeah, those cords were like 100 feet long. You should go from the kitchen into the bathroom, into the outside, or the long cord that we used to have.
And we did that. We could talk through tin cans.
Or if you pissed your parents off bad enough, you get whipped with the cord.
Correct. And that thing never hurt.
But
lasting you and pull you away.
Anthony, I've said that same thing. I don't know if you remember when we were in Canada, they still had the party lines on a phone where you'd pick up the phone and somebody in the neighborhood would be talking.
Yes.
And you would have to wait till they ended their conversation for you to make your call. Okay. So we've gone from that to these cell phones, and I communicate. We all communicate with people around the world.
Yeah.
I, on a regular basis, communicate in 5 different time zones around this planet, to run this Facebook group, Bradley Powers platform,
Yeah.
And now I want to say this, and this is one thing they told me a long time ago, is that we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we've achieved. That it's not all them. They do nudge us. They do help us. But they said that our technology, this is the 4th pinnacle that it's reached, a technological pinnacle, basically. And I mean, you look around, look at the world, things are not nice right now.
No.
The attentions of humanity upon humanity are horrible. Just saw another kid killed in a school, I'm a firm believer, and you got people saying, 2024, this year, there's going to be a solar flare or revelations or whatever you want to call it. But I firmly believe all of this going on is we're about to face a collapse of our civilization. Every civilization in the past has collapsed.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So,
even Jeff is saying, Henry Hudson logged about little people he and some of his men partied with at night when they saw a fire in the woods along the Hudson River. In the morning, they were gone. Natives say they come along every 10 years. So, and I totally, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but don't you think that there's something that, like, beyond the veil, even like leprechauns, if you put a rainbow and you use the speed of light with a drop of water, it creates a portal. So who's to say a leprechaun doesn't show up?
Yeah, my opinion.
I would, with a pot of gold at the end.
That would be great. I would appreciate it. I could do my business plan work for life and help a lot of people, But Maureen, my opinion on this is, and what I've learned, and once again, I just share what I've learned. Everybody's got to decide for themselves what they believe is true and what they've been through personally. But I think it's these beings, Maureen, that manifest in these different, as a leprechaun, as a werewolf, as a dragon, and this and that. They manifest in different scenarios in accordance to our soul contracts with what you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
They help us to achieve these soul contracts.
Yeah.
So, and it could be a mermaid. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has an encounter and out in the ocean, a mermaid. You see people will post videos of what they get. They're always like these UFOs, Bigfoot, mermaids, cryptids. It's always a video that's not just straight up. It's blurry. It's this. It's the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've gotten many crafts in the sky on video, and I know for certain they have complete control of our devices. They're going to let you have what they're going to allow you to have.
You think all of these creatures are extraterrestrial? They just look different.
Theory of mine. I got to stick to that.
Do you think?
Yes, I kind of do believe that.
Do you think so? I have a theory that that extraterrestrials are also angels and archangels. Do you believe that?
Well, what my guides explained to me an angel is, it's a little bit different. They said an angel is basically one of us before we start the reincarnation process. They say as soon as we start this reincarnation process, we incur negative karma, or what the Bible says, sin.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're no longer pure. And then you start learning this complete physical human understanding, which starts out once again like Jeffrey Dahmer, but the end goal is to ascend to unconditional, complete love and back to that angelic state.
So before we start any reincarnations?
Yes, that would be an angel.
Really? So if you were a serial killer, you become an angel before you start your learning process?
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
Before you start. Now, check this out, Maureen. One of the first things I asked, they're explaining to me, okay, you decide what you're going to be, who you're going to be, what you're going to learn before you're born. Right. I'm going, okay. Well, answer me this then. Why would an individual choose to be Jeffrey Dahmer? You know what I'm saying? That is a pretty heinous individual. Excuse me?
They need to learn those lessons.
Maybe he's a carnivore.
Well, he was obviously a carnivore.
Obviously,
but this is the explanation they gave me, Maureen. They said he was an infant soul. He just started this whole reincarnation process. So and they said this is very popular right now, is why you have all the wars and the violence and the kids' school shootings and all this going on. At the end of Earth's cycle, what people will do if they're a baby infant soul person is incur karmic debt. So they have to pay this debt back by being born into a life with that person and making that debt up to them.
Okay.
Therefore, it gives them a sort of blueprint. And say, like with Jeffrey Dahmer, he kills these people. In his interviews, he even said that he ate them to retain them for life, forever. Okay. So in a sense, you're now karmically attached to this person. You kill them. Okay. You see a life where one of these people you killed, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. One of these people you killed is born into a family, a mother and father that are drug addicts, and they're not paying attention or taking care of their kids. Their priority is the drugs and getting their fix. So the kids are being neglected. So he sees an opportunity to be born in with these siblings to where he's got an overbearing need going, I have to take care of my siblings. I have to make sure they're fed. I have to make sure they're safe. I have to make sure they get to school. This pays back that debt. And then they pay back the debt. And then the next life, you see one of these individuals you paid the debt back with. Well, hey, I could be born in with this person and we could be brother and sister in a more loving form, bonding and love. And then husband and wife. And then it flips where one's the husband, one's the wife. Next one, The other's the husband, the other's the wife.
Or it
You
could
go
be a
through this
brother and a sister, or
because
that makes sense.
you think
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
learning to be completely human, that's a lot of lessons. There's a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So you go from Jeffrey Dahmer that can be construed as hate or evil to where it ascends. That's the whole point, is to ascend to love.
Yeah, but you're Buddhist, so you're Buddhist, so you believe in reincarnation. So I know
Yes.
you Buddhists that they won't kill flies or any kind of insect because they feel that their family, because they weren't good in life, they came back as an insect or something like that. So do you
Got
believe
it.
in that also? Because they feel it's still a life force, even though it's an insect.
You know, one of the things my guides told me is they said, even with the Buddhism, not all of it's 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
But since I've become a Buddhist, and especially recently, the older I get, the more, Anthony, I will get a spider and I will get it and relocate it. I won't kill it.
I do the same thing.
So it's had that effect on me. Yes, it has.
Okay.
When I was younger, now if I were to come across a black widow, I'm not going to try to relocate it or screw with it, and it's in my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that could harm you. A brown recluse, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
kill it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I claim to be a Buddhist, and I know there's probably people that's never met me on the internet, and I say this Buddhist thing, and they expect some guy sitting in lotus position, you know, with popcorn. That's not me, you know.
Yeah, I know. Me neither. We sing on the floor and never get up.
Exactly.
I
Thank you.
cross my legs, forget it. They're staying like that forever.
But yeah, looking at that, I don't look at any of my relatives or any of that coming back as an insect. I believe once you're past that phase, that you're not going back to that animal thing, except for in certain cases. And I'll give like an example they gave me is people who hunt, and they don't hunt out of the necessity for sustenance and to eat, but for the love of killing.
Mm-hmm.
Some people hunt. Look at a big game hunter, and they're
Yeah.
hunting and they're hunting animals that you don't possibly eat. It's not about survival; it's about the thrill of killing. So that when they die, they may become an animal and get hunted, and experience the opposite side of that.
Experiences, yeah. That's just interesting.
See what I'm saying?
See, now I didn't think that we could reincarnate into animals or plants, but
I don't think it's very. But
yeah.
But I
What you
think
gonna
that
say, Maureen?
if that's the case where like someone is hunting elephants, I think that they should be able to be reincarnated into one to see what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Maureen, sometimes these scenarios are played out in what I call the astral planes, which is where we go when we die, when we dream. I mean, we've all had dreams that you wake up from this dream and you're, oh my God, that was like beyond real.
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's our true state of being, is the spiritual form. So that's realer than the physical plane. This physical plane, I got a saying, and I got it from a t-shirt when I was playing in the metal bands, is death is certain, life is not.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Life is not guaranteed, you know, it's all temporary. But these scenarios can be played out in these astral planes, Maureen, as well as on the physical plane.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
So.
And you're right. Nothing, we can never rely on life because you never know what's going to happen within the next 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I know some of my dreams. I don't want to wake up sometimes, so my dreams are better than sometimes my real life.
Yeah, that's what they're called, dreams.
It's like my dreams, like, oh, I have to get up. I'm going to go back to sleep.
Okay, are we back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. We're frozen for a second. John Curley said, we're born to die. And Jeff Trina said, we don't die, our bodies do. Our meat suits.
Yeah,
everybody laughs at me when I say that, but that's what I call it.
Very true.
Yeah.
Nothing physical is permanent. It's all temporary.
Anthony V said, you better get a damn life, Anthony.
Are you kidding? I'd rather sleep all day. If I sleep, I'm getting better.
Because you said your dreams are better.
Yeah. Come on. I sleep.
Gabagool.
Gabagool, I'm eating all the time in my dreams. I'm getting fat in real life, but I'm eating my dreams. How that happened, I don't know.
Did you
You
ever
know-
ask them, Gary, what are like, why we dream, or if our dreams aren't actually what our life is, or the people that are in it or not, who are in our actual lives, like what they mean or the difference?
Yeah, I've asked about the dream state. What they've said about this dream state is basically comes down from our true self or your subconscious. They call our subconscious your true self. They said when we start a physical life, your soul is one. It divides into two, your conscious and your subconscious. So a lot of times your dreams, and nothing's written in stone. They've definitely told me that. So when you're having these dreams, a lot of it is in code that you have to interpret. What is it trying to tell you? And when I was doing the psychic readings, I did a ton of dream interpretations for people with the help of my guides.
It's really interesting.
I got a good friend. I don't think she'd mind me mentioning her name, Lori Roxanne Chester, my little sister. She's really good at doing dreams. I've gone to her with a couple of mine, and she's spot on when she does them. She might be on this podcast right now.
Oh, she said hello.
But yeah, I believe they're manifestations from your higher subconscious mind.
That's interesting. So how do they pick when you come back? Like,
You do.
a body. You're gonna say, okay, does a number come up and say, okay, you got this body, you got this body? Because if I had a choice, I would never pick up two poor parents. I would have picked up the richest parents I could find. But but how do they get these bodies? A person, do they choose at birth? A certain body, or two parents that have some kind of connection with the
Exactly.
aliens? Okay.
No, it's not the aliens that choose this. It's ourselves. We choose this. Once you go through this light, Anthony, people say, go back to the movie, go to the light, Carol Ann. They say you're supposed to go through this light. Once you go through this light, you have access to what some people will call the Akashic records. This past lives, where you're up to now, you see what you need to learn. So you see a record of karmic debts. Maybe you owe someone a debt, and you see them physically. You could see, you could see things coming. These two people are hooked up together. They're going to have a kid. You can see them having sexual relations. It's not that you're seeing the future. I mean, we could do this in the physical. You know what I'm saying? And you see things line up, and this could be an opportunity to be born in with these people and learn a specific lesson. And this is done with the guidance. Now, this is where God comes in. People and religion says, God chooses all of this, and it's God's will and this and that. And it's not God's will. God helps us, guides us, helps us make these decisions. Just like these beings have been through this complete physical human understanding. Okay. So it's our choice. Now, when we go to be involved with these higher beings, it is a process you volunteer for, and they pick certain individuals. It may be the particular life that they're learning. And then once you start working with them, you're pretty much involved with them with multiple lives. And like with me, I'm getting towards the end of this higher mental development, the psychic thing. I very clearly, easily communicate with them. They can talk through me. They can occupy my body. It's not terror. It's not scary. It's angelic. Okay. It starts out terror, but you get to the end of it and you work with these same beings throughout this process. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
so it's not pointed down to you.
Now, do you hear them with your ears or your head? Do they talk to you? Do you
It's
hear with your ears, or do you just you hear it inside your head already? You know what I'm saying?
It's in my head. I don't hear it. It sounds like a voice, but it's mental. It's almost like your thoughts.
Okay.
And then
Like
sometimes
when you talk to yourself.
it is. There you go, Maureen. That's a good way to put it. Like I said, it's happened to me since I was a little kid, and I just didn't realize what going on. I thought it was my own mind. And I've told people, they've gone, well, I want to communicate. And the first thing I'll ask them is, have you seen UFOs? And they say, okay, yeah, I've seen UFOs. I've seen this. Well, then chances are you can do this. Chances are it's happening. You just don't know that it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? I think it's a lot more common than people realize. Ever since the United States government did this whole disclosure thing a couple months back and said we got non-human bodies, non-human craft, a lot of people are more comfortable now with coming out with their experiences and their encounters. And I'm amazed that 35 years into this, and I'm sure, Anthony, you could probably say the same. You got 35 years into this, and I'm still hearing original stories from people on a daily basis. You know, I find that in itself amazing. That shows me that these people are not making this up. You know,
They're finally getting a chance to talk to them, you know, to get it off their chest. They finally get a chance to get it off their chest. And by talking to you, gives them that closure saying, okay, something did happen. So all these years I've been denying it, pushing it aside. And anybody, if I mentioned it to them, thought I was crazy. But here's somebody happened to, and I could talk to him about it. You know, and that's what what I do with the paranormal, and you do with the, with the contactees. That's hard for me to say, contactee. But it's so you give them the closure, saying wow, and you get it off their chest. So that's amazing. That's amazing that you get to do that.
It is, Jonathan. And I was having a conversation with the guy I've become good friends with on Facebook before this interview. And he says, man, don't let these people put you down get to you. Every time you post, you're helping people. And I will get messages like in a PM out of the blue with somebody who says, you know what? I've never commented on any of your posts, but I've been following you for some time now. And I just want to say that what you're posting has helped me a lot. And it gives them somebody to identify to, Anthony.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people that are afraid to say anything because someone's going to say you're a nut. You're crazy. You're a lunatic. You're schizophrenic. I've been called all
say that about anything else about you. So why does it matter? They could say that about
what was that, Maureen?
They could say that about anything else. They could say that about your family or what you believe about your religion or your house or your animals or how you dress. What does it matter at this point? They're going to find something else to pick on you for. So what does it matter about this? Anthony, am I right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been picked on a lot all my life about stuff with the paranormal and stuff. So I got to a point quite a few years ago, like, I don't care. They don't affect me. This is what I feel. If I can help somebody, even if I can help one person, that's all that matters. But who cares what people think? That doesn't affect our lives. They don't pay my bills. They don't do nothing for me. If they could criticize you, fine. But, criticism is also another form of, advertisement for you. Like somebody, like on our show, we don't know who's watching. There might be 1 million people out there that hate us. They're watching. Who cares?
They watch and they hate you.
So it's like, who cares what people think? And do what you got to do in life. If you feel this is what you got to do, which, yes, it is what you got to do. Help people. So who cares what people think? You're always going to have somebody criticizing you.
You always will. I've dealt with it. Yeah, and Jonathan and Maureen, you've dealt with this for a while, and it never stops. They continually come at you. And I believe there's people out there I call professional trolls. They're paid to discourage us and put us down. I've kind of just recently started taking a new approach, and it depends on the group. In my group, I play nice. There's a group that ends in Reloaded, and there's a ton of rude people. And I will tell them, you know what, man, the thing I find funny, you're sitting here insulting me. The thing I find funny about it is you just blew a major opportunity because I will answer anybody's questions. I'm a nice guy. You come with questions, I'm going to answer your questions. I like to help people. I'm not charging money. You sat here and just insulted me. Now you just blew off an opportunity to ask questions of beings that have an intelligence beyond what we can comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
And that really seems to piss them off, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
But it's the truth. It's great truth, you know.
yeah.
I
mean,
feel
this
the
story is great.
You
Everybody
know, the
out
thing
on the
that
audience
angers,
knows
the
the
thing
story.
that,
You know,
I really,
what was that?
I was bullied like most of my life. And here's the thing. If I went through the torment and torture that I went through when I was younger and it was as bad as it was, this doesn't bother me. I really don't care what people say about me. That's just words. The words they don't hurt.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep going. Do the worst that you could possibly do. Then you're going to have to deal with me, and it's not pretty.
Thank you, Maureen. And you and I both, I've been bullied my whole life. I hate bullies, which probably makes me a good, you know, not just an administrator for Bradley Powers and Jim Andre, but I'm their general manager. I don't like people coming in and screwing with other people.
Same.
If they're gonna screw with an administrator of the group, they're gonna make fun of anybody.
Right.
And we will suspend them, and after a few suspensions, they're gone. We just ban them. Before this, it got to where in this reloaded group, people would be rude to me. I wouldn't even give them a chance. I just block them. I've blocked 70 people in a day on that site.
Good.
And we can do the same thing.
You know?
And it's not worth it.
I do it constant. You give me a hard time on my any of my pages, block.
I think
say
I've more
something-
people
Gone.
blocked
Yeah.
friends.
You don't make a difference to me in my life. If I block you for these people don't make no difference. You know, if they're going to give me a hard time, they're going to make a wise comment. They're going to try and disrespect me in any way. I'm Italian. You know, we don't give forgiveness. Disrespect me, you're gone. They're lucky I'm blocking. I'm not whacking them. You know.
So
That's funny.
Gary, do you communicate? Oh, wait, we already answered that question. What do you recall about your experiences on the mothership, the living ship? Were you given a tour? And if so, what do you recall? You said you don't remember it, right?
The abductions?
Yeah.
I have no recollection of being on these crafts or any of this.
Do you
I'm
remember
sure I have been.
Or?
Do I remember why?
You just remember walking out your door and then it was gone.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. I mean, just the other night, I was talking it was last Thursday, as a matter of fact. I was on Jim and Bradley's podcast with Vic Makaroff, and we're talking. And in the middle of this podcast, I got a memory that night that I was abducted, and I couldn't see anything. I couldn't remember anything but pressure on my back, Maureen.
Okay. The only thing I remember was one of the paper medical sheets being over me, and it kept sliding down my face. And I remember being completely naked, being on a cold metal, and that's like a typical thing, on a cold metal table. And the room was kind of like those white panels that they're kind of opaque but see-through at the same time, and they had like a warm bluish purple glow all the way around the room. And there was kind of like when you go to get an x-ray done and there's that separate room where the tech goes in, there was something like that, but you couldn't see through the window. And there were different, I hate to use the word species because that's not what I want to use, but different
beings.
They all look
types
different.
Of beings
standing around the table. And when the things down off my face, whatever the being was that was here, and I want to use the word him because it had like a masculine feel, he would pull the cover up over my face, and then I would pull it down from the inside.
Was you really?
And when I pull that down, one from the end would go, would laugh with me, and I would giggle, and I'd pull it back down, and this guy over here would go and like pull it back up. So I kept doing that game with him, and then all of a sudden I was back here. So they're
Wow.
very sarcastic and funny, and they have a like good, like they have emotions. They're giddy and they're funny and they have sarcasm. But that's all I remember about that. It was like a really brief, and it seemed quick, but it was funny. Like I'm very curious.
That's a funny story. It kind of, Maureen, it kind of reminds me. Have you ever read Communion by Whitley Strieber?
No,
The book, seen the
No.
movie? It's a movie. Christopher Walken plays Whitley Strieber. It's a good movie. It's a good book, but he's being terrorized by these beings, and I mean, it's like horrific. And then somehow, I forget. It's been years since I've read it. Something tells him to face his fears,
okay.
and he faces it, and he ends up dancing around and playing and laughing with them. And I'm a firm believer that these people that are being terrorized, some of them can reverse this around. A lot of it is facing your fears. I had to face my fears with an area that I used to go to that is a docking station. It's where these UFOs are coming in and out of. And it was just frightening. I took multiple people up there, and they're all, dude, get me the F out of here. This.
Oops. Hope his phone didn't go dead.
I hope not too. I don't think it would go dead. I think he would have definitely charged it. But I'm wondering if it's weird because at the beginning I thought to myself, I wonder if they're going to allow him to speak.
And just cut off the volume.
You're back.
There you go. You're back.
I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Really? So just for everybody else, can you hear us?
I'm going to try recalling you guys. I just got all the volume cut off.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Maybe they don't want you to talk about this.
Maybe not. And that's what I was wondering. Because we had another show that was like this, where whatever it was that we were talking about didn't want us talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello,
We can hear you. We could hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, we could hear you. I know you can't hear us.
Oh. Okay, so we'll wait for him. But for everybody else, I've actually had contact with other beings. They've actually entered my home. They told me that they were healing me. So they're not violent. I mean, I'm sure that there are probably some out there, but it's not like the grays that everyone talks about. They're very different. They all look different. Anthony's had contact. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Someone, as a matter of fact, Bradley and Vic and my management team tried calling me, and it cut off the volume. So I got back to the original link. But I'm
so
back.
They didn't know that you're here?
They should. I don't know if they just didn't realize the times. You're talking. One's in England, one's in Australia, one's in New York, New York, Florida. So
it's tough to do a conference call with all you guys too. So I was just filling them in while we lost you for a second. That it's not like how people think that the grays are very violent. I've had contact where other like little tiny small beings that they're like grayish, and you can not. It almost looks like the cutout of a shadow, and the edges are kind of jagged, and they have like a pinkish aura around the edges. They don't have faces or anything. It's like flat Stanley when you take them on vacation. They've come into my house, and I heard healing you, kind of like a synthesized voice. They all look very different, and I have never come across one that's violent. Anthony, he had like a mothership go over his neighborhood as a kid.
Yeah. It was in the 70s that happened, like 76.
And he was the only one that remembered it.
Yeah, because I wasn't underneath the light. Yeah.
Now, a couple of things on that I've learned from them is there can be 3 people standing outside. 1 or 2 of them can see these craft, and 1 or 2 of them won't. And they do this within our mind. They're cloaking. They don't do it physically with the ship. They do it with us mentally. Okay. And another thing I want to touch on, Maureen, you talk about these beings that you've dealt with, and they've been fun, they've been playful, that you've never dealt with the negative side. They basically have told me there's a number of things that affect the negative. It could be anywhere from drugs. Some people doing meth, and they're going, why am I being tormented? You're doing methamphetamine. You're
Mhm.
attracting negativity to yourself. A
Mhm.
lot of times, and most times, it's nothing more than your soul contract. This is the experience you've chosen to experience. You have to learn with the good, with the bad. That's
Mhm.
what it all comes down to. And it's
Mhm.
not these beings that are good and bad. I mean, people that are going through these terrifying abduction experiences, they hate hearing this. And I understand. They're going through terror, and that's reality. They are experiencing this, and we need to be understanding of this. But a lot of time it's your soul contract and what you chose to learn. It's not these beings. I mean, I wanted to give this breakdown. Simple way to explain these beings we're dealing with and ourselves. We're all the same. We're actually not any different from each other. It's like a school. We're in kindergarten. You got the beings or typical aliens with the big eyes, the anything from reptilians, greys, um, mantids. They're in receiving their master's degree. Okay, these beings that are human in experience and appearance, like my guides, the Palladians, Anunnaki, tall whites, um, Nordics, this kind of thing that look completely human, they're receiving their PhD. Okay, God, God is like the experienced CEO of the company, is guiding everything. We're all gods in training, and this is why our scientists say the universe is expanding and we're on the way outside rim. So when our scientists say we're going into outer space, we're going into inner space. They've got us put in a place because there are beings out there. They're developing all types of different types of beings on different planets that if they could conquer us and destroy us, they would. But we're placed in an area where they cannot get to us because the all the life forms on this planet. You think about it, there's things that we haven't discovered under the ocean, in the rainforest. There's so many life forms on this planet, and it's all very, very valuable. And they're doing these genetic development procedures with all of these life forms, not just humans, plants, animals, everything on this planet. That's what the planet was designed for in this physical plane. While they're conducting these developmental procedures, we're learning complete human understanding. These beings that we're dealing with, that we want to call aliens, went
Mhm.
through the same human understanding we're going through right now. They understand what we're going through. Because I've asked them a couple of times, what I was just doing was so stupid. You must think I'm an idiot. And they say, no, we understand. We've been there. They're almost like
So
parents.
we know what angels are now. We know
Yeah.
what aliens are. We know what cryptids and the sort are. Are there
Mhm.
demons?
You know, I've been given one definition of demons, and you want to talk to an interesting guy about this, Maureen? Talk to Vic Makaroff. He's had
Okay.
encounters with all kinds of spirits. Me and Vic, we're good friends. We don't always see eye to eye. They've explained to me as a lot of what we're perceiving to be demons are individuals like us that are in between physical bodies, but they're baby soul peoples. It's like a maniacal little boy on the playground that's picking on everyone because they don't know better.
So
And they
like a
think it's,
Jeffrey Dahmer.
or Jeffrey Dahmer, or even the little boy, he has a crush on the girl and he don't know how to deal with his feelings and emotions, so he hits her. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Mhm.
at
It
like
could
a
be
much
like,
higher level.
yeah, they're just, I mean, they apparently, this reincarnation process that our soul, it ages lifetime by lifetime, like we're aging year by year. So this little
Mhm.
boy on the playground that may be maniacal and mean to other kids and picking on them, and he's the bully, he's going to grow up someday and hopefully get past it.
Mhm.
Sometimes they don't, you
So
know?
it's just all about that adding in perception and intention.
Yeah, and your soul age, where you're at, you know?
That makes
Um,
sense.
like I say, talk to Vic about it. He has different explanations, and that's the thing. Maybe I'm right, maybe he's right. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
my my experience and what I've seen, experienced, the scars on my body, the videos I have of these,
Mhm.
I'm pretty convinced that what they're telling me is the truth. But is it the end all? No. Nothing is carved in stone. It's like
Mhm.
people talk of parallel dimensions and they say this is a reality. Just like I mentioned this college with
Mhm.
the kindergarten, the masters, the PhD. Each one of these developmental levels, and supposedly there's like 78 once we finish, well, 77 once we finish this complete human understanding. Each one of these levels of mental physical development requires a dimension. These dimensions do cross each other, sometimes accidentally, sometimes intentionally, like what people call Bigfoot. Those are other beings that are basically crossing over from another dimension.
Okay.
And they got things they're learning here on this physical plane as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
if you, I mean, you don't remember being on the mothership, but if you think you were like hypnotized to regress back to that area, you think you might be able to remember, or is it just right from memory altogether?
Anthony, I've tried to be hypnotized. I wanted to get to the bottom of this, and they've told me about some of my past lives. Okay. And that was more I don't want to know what went on in these UFOs. I'm cool with these procedures. I don't like doctor's procedures. I got jacked up teeth. I need to go to a dentist because once.
Have them do it for you.
Huh?
Have them do it for you.
I've asked. I said, people want their proof. Fix my teeth. That will give them the proof. We can't regrow teeth. You know what I'm saying? But no, Anthony, I would rather not know. But back to the regressions, I wanted to go into my past lives. And I tried to get hypnotized and I couldn't be hypnotized. I don't know if it has something to do with them. They're constantly with me. They're with me right now. And I don't know if that had something to do with it or I don't know. Maybe I drank too much Coke Zero that day. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what affected them not being able to hypnotize me, but
I like on certain shows, they found like different stuff implanted in people's bodies, transmitted and stuff like that. Do you have any? Do you know? Or
I'm pretty sure.
Bumps?
I've never had it X-rayed. I've never. Once again, I'm on Medicaid basically, so I go for my diabetes. They're going to pay for bare minimum. But right when I started, when they made contact with me, and I was on the back of this truck, right here on my chest, I got a lump. And I think I have one in my hand. This one in my chest, I'm pretty sure, is an implant. My ex-wife says that lump on your chest just freaks me out. There's something about it I don't like. And it's been there for years. They gave me some information, at least once again. I shared, this is my experience, what I've learned about myself. Maybe there's different types of implants that people have. But they've told me this that I got in me is a very, very, very high-tech EKG. They said at any moment in time they could get near this. They could tell how many cells I have in my body, how many red blood cells, how many white blood cells. I mean, just down to the detail of the physical makeup of the human body or even an animal. It's like I mentioned, I got over 100 scars on my body. It's mostly on my right leg, lower left leg. And I'm getting these. I'll wake up and I'll just have these scars. And I wondered what they were.
It's not bleeding, nothing. It's just a scar.
It's a scar. There's generally no scab.
They kind of grab, they cut, and then they grab, they graft the skin. They put it, they make the skin heal or something.
Well, what I get, Anthony, is time to us is different with them.
Okay.
So when I'm gone with them in these abductions and they cut a cut on my leg, in our time, I'm gone long enough for it to heal. So what they're doing is they cut me, and I'll be very honest, I'm not a perfect person. I played in the metal bands and I've done my share of partying and substances and whatnot. And being compiled with diabetes, they're cutting me and they're tracking how long it takes my body to respond and heal while the diabetes being out of check, substances in my body, different things that would affect the normal healing process of the physical body.
But those plants, you think that's what's giving you diabetes and those implants? Do you think that's making you sick, or any kind of illness you may feel, or
No, I don't, Anthony. The diabetes, it's on both sides of my family, my mom's and my dad's. They used to test me since I was a kid. My mom would have me tested for diabetes. When I was homeless, I lived in the back of this truck for 10 years, right about 10 years. So there were many times, and I've had people members of my family going, oh, I'm so stressed out. We own 3 houses and they're all our private houses. And we can't pay our property tax. And I'm all, wow, you're stressed over that? Try going 3-4 days with nothing but water to drink and no food and tell me about stress, you know? So what I'm getting at, Anthony, is I think the malnutrition when I was homeless brought on the diabetes. I think it would have been inevitable, which I think could also be part of my soul contract. Just like all this rough experience life, I used to sit and time in tears going, why me? Why am I going through this while somebody has all these houses and life is set up and everything is perfect and happy? And I used to have a lot of resentment to that until not too long ago. I would say maybe a couple years ago, I realized everything that I went through, all the tough pain, abuse, that a lot of it was my own making, was so I could take this and help people. And that's what I now do.
That's awesome. You took a negative and made it into a positive, and you're helping other people now, so they don't have to deal with that stuff too.
If you have too much of an easy life, there's no strife to learn from, so that you can help another person from that.
No, and I got a good example. One day I'm going in the group and I'm posting and I'm commenting and doing my thing, and someone pops up and says, "Hey, have you ever been suicidal?" And I said, "Oh yeah, trust me, I've been suicidal. I've been through some stuff where I've thought there's no way out of this besides putting a gun in my mouth. I can't deal with this." So I go into I PM him and say, "Look, I don't obviously, you know, are you thinking of killing yourself?" He was a kid, and he says, "Yeah, I can't deal with it no more," you know. And he tells me, you know, that his mother died, his father left, and he's basically with his aunt and uncle that make sure he's got what he needs, but he's not being shown love, you know? And I just explained to him, you know, I've been there. I understand. Maybe not the same scenario as you. My situation was different, but I sat there with the 45 in my mouth and planned out where I was going to do this, was setting in a location where I was going to do it. But I realized if I kill myself, I got to come back and do this all over again. If I kill myself, it's not going to help anything. It's going to break a lot of people's heart, because I do have a handful of people at least that love me. You know, don't want to go into the personal people in my life, but when you die, I mean, when you kill yourself, you cross over and you think you're going to escape this pain. You see the pain that you cause to everybody. You don't escape nothing. It compiles worse. And that's why I told this kid, you know, I could have easily done it. I was tired. I didn't see any way out of my situation. But if I did, once again, you got to come back till you get this lesson right. And I'm not going through this again.
And you know, since you didn't do that, now you're helping people. So all the people you're helping now, if you did that back then, they wouldn't be helped. So it was meant to be not to, you know, meant to be that not to kill yourself, because look, you continue going on. Now you're helping others, where if you did it back then, those people wouldn't be helped right now. So
exactly.
So that's what's the positive about it. It's good that, you know what I mean?
It is, Jonathan. And that's what they instilled in me, is I'm here to help people. And not only this is what I get out of this. They help me with the higher mental development, creative development. They do these abductions, these experiments, da 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 da. But what I'm doing, and I learned this also when I realized that all this pain and suffering I went through to help people, is I'm paying back a karmic debt, Anthony. In a past life, I had these psychic abilities. They worked with me and helped me with the psychic abilities, but I took advantage of people. I was a charlatan. I had a great life. I lived comfortably off of other people and taken advantage of them. So now this life, it's the opposite. I'm suffering and I'm helping people for free. So it's a payback. It's learning lessons is all it is.
You're probably a politician in last life, because all our politicians, that's going to happen to them. All our politicians, I don't care what branch, what, they're all going to, you know, they're going to have to all come back and deal with it. Because
they are. And you know what they've told me?
They're crapping all over all us people. Our government don't care about us anymore. I love our country, so.
You know what they've told me about politicians and attorneys and a lot of these people you speak of, the elite? They're infant soul people. They're incurring karmic debt. This is what they're supposed to be doing.
That's why they
Listen,
live
some
70,
of
80
us,
years.
some
That's
of
why
us
they last so
decided,
long.
some of us decided to take over to fix things and then left quickly so that we weren't tied together with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Myself, out of a negative experience I went through in about 1998, 99 with what I call a professional troll. I don't get involved with any government related issues myself. They have their business, I have mine. None of my business. I just get involved with the spiritual end, why they're here, why we're here, what we're learning, you know, whole politics and everything. I agree with you, Anthony. They're all rotten. They all have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
But
They're all coming back.
When they're all coming, we're all coming back. I got my good buddy Vic Makaroff, and he says, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm not coming back. You'll be back. You'll spend some time in these astral planes, and you see everything, the bigger picture, and you'll realize that you got to come back." Right now, things are just. It's my guides say, if it's not meant to be, if it's happening, it's meant to be. And now they say the end cycle, and it goes back to Hinduism, calls it Kali Yuga. The Catholics call it Revelations. We're at an end cycle of this planet. That's why everything, the yin and the yang, it's off balance.
Yeah. I believe in that yin and yang. Like I told you, I listen to other religions, different things. Yin and yang, that's life. Good against evil.
It's a balance. You got to have the good and bad. You can't learn the good without the bad. Luckily, we get the bad out of the way first, and we ascend. At least what they've told me, and this is what I've learned and what I share with people. And on this podcast I did last week, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm not here to change your spiritual views. I'm here to share what I've learned. If you want to listen, it resonates with you, great. If you don't want to, that's great too. It's, you know, you're your own person. You got to make up what you feel is right for you. But I'm just here to share these beings.
You know, what's right for you that doesn't hurt everybody else.
No, exactly. I mean, it definitely, in my opinion, I've seen my proof, you know, and that's another thing Maureen, you've probably dealt with this with somebody. You post what you've learned or your opinion. They're all proof. You got to prove it to me. I said, no, I'm sorry. That's not my place to prove it to you. That's the proof is in the individual. If you're not seeing the proof with the cave paintings, Mayan relics, there's paintings of Jesus Christ with UFOs in the sky, all of these people coming out with all of these stories. That's the proof. If you don't see it, and even more, if you're not experiencing it, then maybe you ain't supposed to have your proof.
Right.
You know?
And
I have. One of the things I tried experimenting when I'm going through this, determining, what am I going through? Is this real? I contacted a few people and said, hey, man, let's do an experiment. Let's see if I can have UFOs appear for you. And I was about 50-50. They appeared for people I did not know on different parts of the planet. And they appeared for people that I've known since I'm 9 years old. And then some people they didn't appear for. One of the last times I did it, I got deathly sick. So I've kind of backed off. You know, I'm still willing to try it with certain people, but, you know, it kind of goes back to, you know, ongoing joke. I tell people I have the lives of a pregnant cat. These beings have saved my life. There's a purpose they have for me because they've saved my life several times. They've saved me from overdose. They've saved me from car wrecks. They've saved me from COVID-19 3 times. And I'm diabetic, cholesterol. I got medical issues at 61 and I've survived this COVID. I have no vaccine. I will not get it. I never even went to the doctor, you know? So that right there is my proof. The physical scars on my body are my proof of the videos and what I see in the sky. I got some, you know, like a lot of people, it's nothing uncommon now for people to get these orbs and all these different things on video. So that's my proof, you know what I'm saying? If I could put it in somebody's mind or have them appear, I'm more than happy to try doing that, you know.
With your scars and everything, what do you think they're doing? I mean, the scar, they taking tissue out. What do you think they might be doing?
You know,
when you have a scar, do you feel like there's something missing in there, or a piece of meat or something? No,
not at all. The first one I got, Anthony, was when I was living in the back of this truck, and I went through 24 hours of missing time, and it's what's known as a scoop scar. It looks like I got a little ice cream scooper and just scooped out a hunk of flesh. It's on my shoulder back here. It's been there, you know, for 30 years, and it's very deep. Now, I've seen multiple people that are abductees say, I got this scar. It's a scoop scar. And some of them, it'll be kind of faint. Some of them, like mine's super deep. And they said that I thought it was taking a genetic sample. They could do that through a mouth swab, for one. You know, they do that for numerous things, you know, forensic investigations. So they said the scoop scar is nothing more than, it's almost like you're in a motorcycle club, and it's like a badge. And I hate to say this, some people are going to find this odd, a badge of honor. It symbolizes where it's at on your body, how deep it is, symbolizes how long and how you're involved with them. Nothing more than that.
It's like society, like a secret society.
That's it. Exactly, Maureen. Exactly. And then some of them, like I said, Anthony, is basically they're testing my body, how long it takes. Because when you're diabetic, I mean, a lot of people know one of the signs that tell if you're diabetic is your wounds don't heal. You're thirsty, wounds don't heal. So they cut me. And how long is it taking this wound to heal while my diabetes is out of control, and even at one point undiagnosed, and compiled with my party lifestyle, playing in bands and living that lifestyle. And they're just genetically, how it affects me genetically. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me say this, there's one on my left shin that's straight up a face. It's a mouth and two eyes. And I think they, once again, proof just to show me that these scars are coming from us. No more than that. Didn't hurt. Woke up and I show at the time my kid's mother and my kid, look at the scar I got last night. And it's a face, and they're looking, they're like, what the heck? You know?
They're playing with you. You know, they draw their cartoons on you.
Kinda. But it's, once again, going back to proof, Anthony.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, everything that I've been through, and I've been through some crazy stuff. I haven't gotten into my experiences or more my lifestyle, my crazy stories. And I tell people I'm working on the back of my book that I was homeless for 10 years. I've been shot at. I've been stalked multiple times. I've had guns to my head multiple times, and I've had guns in my mouth multiple times. I've been through a lot. I haven't shared this on Facebook or with people. It's going to be in my book. I feel the right to be able to sell a book and charge for that. I don't feel the right to share the information they shared with me. That's on Facebook. I post that absolutely for free. It's going to be in my book as well. But if anybody wants to go to the theoretical gift, they could look and see what I've been posting. It's information from them. You know?
Yeah. Before we leave, we'll just ask you where our audience can go and look for the information about you.
Okay.
But we got time.
Yeah, okay. And we have a lot of questions and comments that we missed. So let's see. Gary and everyone on the panel, do you have odd dreams or visions when you are involved in an investigation or after? I don't.
What do you say, Anthony?
Dreams after investigations? Yeah, sometimes. Depending what's going on, or if I'm being touched, or, because being touched or scratched or whatever I might be doing investigation. Sometimes I leave and you have dreams of something, but I don't think it's anything following me. It's just, I guess it just sticks in my conscious mind, something that might have happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything that followed me or, home, because, you know, as an investigator, we do get attachments from some spirits follow us, and that's a different than dream state, you know. But that's pretty
Yeah.
much, you know, I don't think it's anything that's in my personal, you know, doing it all the time. I don't think it bothers, you know, anything with me comes as anything I think it's going to be bad. You know,
Okay.
you know. Sometimes it give me answers to some of the questions I had that night too. So,
Okay.
how about you, Gary?
Myself?
Yeah,
Whoops. I'm sorry. It's pinging out again. Can you hear me?
No,
yeah,
you're fine.
we can hear you.
Well, Gary doesn't really
Myself?
do investigations, but like after you have like a meeting with them, do
I
you have,
can't hear you. It's pinging.
oh no.
You can't hear us. We can hear you. We could hear you. You, we can hear you. So,
I don't know if you could hear me, but my dream state is
yes, we
bizarre.
can.
I dream every night. They're usually fun. I have a very pleasant dream state. Once again, I did.
No. Ugh. We're never gonna get through these questions.
Yeah, no. Don't worry about it.
So Jeff said the voice in the head happened to him while he was at an altar boy staring at the huge crucifix at church, and it said, "There's more to this than they are telling you." That's when his mind opened. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jem said, "People only criticize what they don't understand." I truly believe that. Lady V said, "Can be tough enduring ridicule, but if you can stand in your own power without their crap affecting you, then you a beast." Agreed. And Gary seems super nice. He is really a sweetheart.
Yeah, yeah.
We have ERRT is a great group. Gary, stick around. We would love to keep him around. Who would troll him? He'd be surprised. He's coming through again. There he is.
Okay, I'm back.
Here he
I
is.
got cut off.
I was just reading some comments while
The
you were going.
mothership just took you.
Huh?
The
aliens
mothership
took-
just grabbed you from us. Come on, tell them to leave you alone for 10 minutes so you can finish the show.
Exactly. Quit screwing with the show.
We'll get them later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw with me. Leave them out of it. You know what I'm
Those
saying?
meddling kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the comments and the questions.
So I was reading some comments while you were gone, so we could get you back for the things that were directed to you. Let's see. So when I stopped trying to convince others and was happy with myself, I started laughing and feeling empathy for negative people. That's a good way to do it.
It is.
Somebody said that we're in a simulation.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Some people
Mr.
believe that.
All the Mr. Andersons. I don't know if I could deal with one Mr. Anderson, let alone 1,000 Mr. Andersons. Jeff Trainer said that he lives close to where communion actually happened.
Oh, no kidding. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The Whitley Street.
Oh, it's Pine Bush. It was in Pine Bush.
Oh, that's what happened in Pine Bush.
Yeah, so that's where Anthony and I went to see the museum, and we had that little street fair.
Yeah. That museum is really nice. And anybody in the audience, Pine Bush Paranormal, it's UFO Paranormal Museum. The guy who takes care of this guy, Lance, they do a great job there. They really do. So if anybody in Pine Bush area, Jeff, you probably know it already. So it's an awesome place. I'm just giving them a plug, you know.
Yeah.
Lady V said, "How many of you can remember the pre-Mandela effect things?" I can. And the weird thing is the Mandela effect thing started when I was in high school, because I did go to a Catholic high school. And I remember learning about apartheid and with Mandela being a part of that. And I remember watching a video about him dying in jail of pneumonia. And then that's not how he died. And then all of a sudden, the Berenstain Bears weren't the Berenstain Bears. They were Berenstein. Then they were Berenstain. And then the Statue of Liberty didn't allow people to go up inside the, everything was different. The Kit Kat bar didn't have the hyphen. Everything's different. And then you question everything and you think your whole life has been a lie.
Yeah, well, you know something, just recently, there's a movie out by Sinbad, the comedian.
It's not there anymore.
And they say it is called Kazam, I think it was called.
Shazam.
And they say Shazam, and it doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
And it doesn't exist, but people have copies, the VHS.
I remember watching that movie.
And then if you look in the movie, because somebody was doing a breakdown in the movie, they show in the background the Monopoly board, and the guy on the Monopoly board had the monocle on.
I remember the monocle.
The monkey, I forgot the name of the monkey, and he has no tail, but he had a tail in that. It was like all these little eggs that were planted in there.
I love the whole Mandela effect idea. And they say that it's like a psychology thing, that so many people believe it that they start to make other people believe it, and it turns into like something that everyone forgets. I totally think that that's garbage. I think that it's some people remember and some people don't remember, and then they try to make you forget.
Yeah, I saw Shazam in the movie theater, the $2 movies.
He was a djinn.
Yeah,
the djinn.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they're saying with that, they're trying to take like a movie that Shaq did, and then something else with the genie, and they're trying to shove both of those movies together, and that's why you remember it. It's not. I remember the movie quite well.
If you look on YouTube, you'll find clips.
Yeah, Bobby said, you mean Kazam starring Shaq. So that's what they're trying to say, that's what it is. They're taking that movie and something else, and they're trying to put it together. But Sinbad was absolutely in this movie.
Yeah, that's the one that I sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I remember Berenstain Bears. I had the whole book collection, and it was STEIN, not AIN.
Yeah, and I've seen a thing on this Monopoly. The guy, one version, he's got the molecule. The other one, he doesn't have it.
Yeah. And that's saying he never had it.
That's an interesting subject. There's proof of it, that this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
They even said, so these guys do something on YouTube, and it's all about the Mandela effect. And they showed where the Statue of Liberty is, and they showed where the Twin Towers were. But it showed that everything was like twisted and moved a little bit.
Living in New York, I know you can't move those things. Well, the Twin Towers,
Nope.
But I mean, yeah, it's weird how that, people remember certain things and then they say, no, it didn't happen. But I got proof. It's right here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's where the Matrix comes in. It's like, different locations and different things happening. Well, anything could happen, dimensions and everything.
You know what they've explained to me about this Matrix effect, and maybe it has something to do with this Mandela thing, is I mentioned earlier that these different beings have been through this complete physical human understanding, like what we're going through. They've been through kindergarten, that this is all repeated. Maybe that's it, the repeating, us going through these lessons overlapping each other. That's what they said deja vus are about.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, it's at least it's an explanation, because the other way there's no explanation. Maybe something's overlapping.
Well, isn't
maybe
deja vu supposed to be like it's a couple of seconds difference in a different dimension.
Yeah, that's kind of
Overlapping.
what. Well, there's apparently 78 other or 77 other parallel dimensions to this of people learning and understanding and development, they call it.
Yeah.
But if all these beings, and there's other ones besides these, have experienced complete physical human understanding, and apparently on this planet, they said that's what the pyramids, and people say, okay, aliens built the pyramids because we can't build them today. Well, humans at one point had highly developed brains, much more than ourselves, mental capacity. And it was a mental process of building these pyramids, that they weren't in sandals or flip-flops and rollers without tools and shoving these things through the dirt. They don't even know where they got these blocks of stone from. They're not quarried in that area.
No.
You know? They said it's a mental process. Like you look at Machu Picchu and you see the stones that are stacked and they're all odd shapes and they're perfectly fit together. They said it goes back to this molecular manipulation, that they could make this. It's an object in the astral planes. They slow down the molecules, it becomes solid. So they shape it in the astral planes. They slow down the molecules, it's a solid object. They said this is also how they travel long distances. They said we're not getting a physical ship going light years and all of this, billions of light years. They travel in the astral planes. They think of an area, they're there, then they manifest physically once they're there.
So like Star Trek was right. You go on the ship, you get into the thing, and it transports you down somewhere else, and then you come back as a solid.
Almost, yeah.
It's pretty much like you want to explain it. It's pretty much like that, because it breaks you up and then just transports you to another location. That if you watch Star Trek, you see them out in outer space somewhere, and they're transporting you down to Earth.
Yeah,
that's millions of miles away.
That's molecular manipulation.
So that's what they're. So Star Trek was pretty good. They started with the cell phones, with the phases, with the talking back and forth. So pretty much some of that science fiction that you see on TV actually does happen, and maybe one of the aliens or the entities told somebody that on that show, hey, put this into the script. Maybe put this into the script, and just give people something that's going to happen in the future. Now, it's just showing what could happen, and years from now they're going to look back and say, "Oh, wow, they were talking about it back then." So.
Hey, Anthony, maybe it's like what me and Maureen were talking about in the beginning of this interview, where we didn't realize what was going on when we were kids, and they're putting these ideas in our head.
Exactly.
Exactly that,
Like, did you ever notice that there's no more Mr. Yuck stickers?
What?
There's no more Mr. Yuck stickers from when we were little.
What's a Mr. Yuck sticker? That's before my time.
No.
Probably after your time, man.
Yeah, I know. I like messing with her.
Maybe it was in the second lifetime.
I don't.
You
remember.
don't?
No idea what a yuck sticker is.
So
you're talking to baby boomers here.
They were, maybe they called it something different. So they were little round stickers, and they were like fluorescent green, and it went. So anything that was like toxic, you put the sticker on that, and that told your kids not to touch it.
No, I don't remember that.
No.
I was probably off in nightclubs playing in bands and having fun.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, that went on,
Yeah.
Well, this was in the 70s.
It was in the 70s?
It was in the 70s?
I don't remember that in the 70s, Maureen. And they say you never ask a woman her age, and I apologize ahead of time. May I ask, Maureen?
I'll be 50 in July.
Oh, so wow. Oh, you said that earlier. You don't look that old. You look very good for your age, Maureen.
Thank you.
I would have never guessed.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, you remember.
He likes you now. How much you pay you to say that?
Nothing, Anthony.
Oh, I'm way underpaid. Trust me.
So it's interesting, because they probably put things in shows back in the past, and nowadays we're, thinking about it, and wow, they did show us that back there. Oh, look, this happened, and I think that's kind of interesting that you know these people that are talking to you talk to them. Maybe it's the same ones. We don't know.
And you know what, Anthony? It's just like I said earlier. They help us with higher mental development.
Yeah,
It could be happening to somebody and they don't even realize it's happening, and they're developing mental abilities. That
they're
could be
developing.
with Gene Roddenberry was the guy who wrote Star Wars or
Mhm.
Star Trek, and he very well could have been having information fed to him.
Yeah,
Because you look at their things, their cell phones, basically, what they were talking on.
yeah. They flipped it open.
Yeah,
Beat me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here.
yeah, flip phone. You know,
Hmm.
and then they do the molecular manipulation. They disappear, they travel, they reappear. They said that's a reality that's how these beings work. And it's a mental process. That's the other thing. When you get these individuals, they're human in appearance. Okay. They explain it to me like this: the Palladians, the Arcturians, the Tall Whites, the Anunnaki, the Nordics are all called the Sinye, just like the Hispanics, the Asians, the Africans, Caucasians. We're all human. They're the same thing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once you get to that level, they can utilize the same mental capacity we have, where ours is a left and right half of the brain. At that point, when you've gone through all these 78 forms of mental, physical understanding, you're at that point, they are capable of using 100% of the brain as a whole. And this is how they do this molecular manipulation, time travel, travel long distances, can manipulate the stones into shapes, can move these blocks.
That's awesome.
It's mental. And they say that we don't give ourselves enough credit because we've been to that point and the pinnacle has dropped. Been to that point, dropped several times.
Hmm. See, my brain never get like that because I lost a lot of brain cells back in the 70s and 80s.
You
My
and me
brain,
both.
there's a lot of brain cells gone there. So
I'm right there with you, Anthony. But apparently the few I got left still work. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, they all whatever we have left is doing pretty good for ourselves.
Well, look at it this way, Anthony. They say we use 3 to 5% of our brain. So you could waste what, 95% of it and still be running on all cylinders for a human.
Most people waste all of it.
You get on Facebook lately? Some of those comments. Woof, woof.
Yeah. Some of you know what? I don't want to say I have a problem with, but since this government disclosure and saying we got the bodies and this and that, I see people. I told somebody the other day, if I had $1 for every person I hear in a week say that they're non-human, I could pay my rent. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many people coming out going, I'm not human. I'm not from Earth and da-da-da-da. Apparently, from what I've learned, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, that per universal law, they can't come out on Facebook and say I'm not human.
So it's like they
So
not
I don't know. I mean, I've caught a couple saying that they are, and have shown them, no, you're not. Look at what you're saying. It just doesn't line up. It doesn't make sense.
That's interesting.
So even Jeff said our history is a lie. I believe that. Everything that has ever happened is a lie.
Exactly. Gotta believe or agree with that 100%.
Yeah, you don't know what to believe.
Nobody's. Let's see. Well, thank you, Oofy, for that. She said I look 30-ish. The ish is the part that I'm concerned with.
30-ish.
My
wife turned 29 again.
Okay.
Again and again.
And it's called TV programming for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ron Yacovetti said brain cells with Mr. Yuck stickers. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the yuck stickers.
I don't remember that.
Lady V said, "Ain't none of us 100% human." No.
No, I think that's true. I think they've definitely have mixed our genetics, you know, as far as the physical, whatever the word is, the physical aspects of it. Yeah, I don't think we
Well,
are.
Kids now are like saying that they're toasters and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apache war helicopters and
Just
cats.
wake up and whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen a thing, Maureen, in school, and I'm not going to say whose kid it is, but comes home and says, Dad, my friend's a they. Well,
A what?
your friend's a they.
A
And I
they.
seen it. Okay, now check this out. I seen it. I went to the doctor, and I'm thinking they. What the heck is a they? I go see my doctor. They make me fill out the forms, and it says sexual orientation. Do you identify to be male, female, transsexual, or a they? A they is a person that's neither male or female.
They and them. That's what they use as their pronoun now.
They
Is
them.
that
Yeah.
they or them? Yeah, I was told they. And this was by a 10-year-old child told me this, and I'm looking at him in confusion, going, what?
Yeah, I know. It's confusing for us nowadays. It's like, all right, it is what it is.
I'm just
Jonathan-
wondering when all this started.
Jonathan, if you think it's confusing for us, imagine how it is to these kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm a man. I know I've been with women. You look at the genitalia, but they're telling these kids that the genitalia has no significance anymore. It's mental.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so confused with all that. But
Oopie says, "Okay, that does it. We're advocating going back to Latin."
You know, hey, Maureen, if this whole collapse of the civilization, polar shift, that kind of things, we're going back to the Stone Age. It's
Yeah.
going to eliminate our modern conveniences.
oh yeah.
If you've ever seen the movie Legion, we're not going anywhere if it goes down the opposite way.
Yeah, we're not ascending, we're descending.
Mhm.
Yeah. Some people are ascending, some people are not. You know, depends on how open-minded and the level your soul age is at, is what it's about.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's your soul age, and we'll see. I mean, when you come back, I don't know what I'm coming back as. So
Hopefully not a toaster and Apache helicopter.
yeah,
Hopefully not. You know,
that'd be my luck.
a toaster, would that mean you would live your life in hell with all the heat? You know,
Yeah, it's like
every day you're burning up in an Apache helicopter, you're getting shot at constantly,
Yeah.
possibly shot down.
that'd be my luck. I come back as Apache helicopter and get shot down the first time.
Gotcha.
First mission.
Depends on your karmic debt.
Me, myself, I'm coming back as an ordinary human being, just like I am now.
I'm not going to come back.
That's what my friend Vic says, but you will, Maureen. Things look different on the other side. That's what people say to me. Why would I choose to go through abductions and be terrorized? Well, why would you walk into a doctor and go through chemotherapy? You know, things on the other side when you make these decisions don't look the same as when you're physically alive. You're looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I'm just tired though.
I know. So am I. Very much so. I've had a long, hard life. You know.
Same. It's been a lot of doing this.
I feel you. Right there with you, Maureen.
So, do you have anything you would like to tell us that you're doing, or that you said you're writing a book?
I'm writing my book, The Theoretical Gift, 1 Foot in Buddhism, 1 Foot Planted Firmly in Hell. I've got most of the information down, a section of questions and answers, information from my guides. What I got to do now is the my personal life. For some odd reason, I'm jammed up. Should be the easiest. It's what I lived, but it's no. She's shaking her head. It's not, and
It's always hard to write about yourself.
But that's going to be the sizzle that sells the steak. Is the crazy stories I have to share. I did find out I don't have a date and time. I will keep people posted, but it looks like I got my first live speaking engagement that's going to be in Colorado later this summer, which may go to different cities around the United States.
Very cool.
So this is something I've tried to crack this nut for 30 years and
You
get
come to
into.
New York, let us know.
Yeah, I'll keep everybody posted.
Mhm.
I could be found on Facebook, Gary W. White. Picture of me wearing a suit with the metal horn kind of thing. You'll see an older one, me sitting with a kid on my lap. That's got hacked and I can't get into it. But it'd be Gary W. White. I got a page that strictly is where I'm saving my posts and information for my book. It's called The Theoretical Gift on Facebook. So people can go read the information from these guides of mine that I post for free and for anybody to read. They could ask questions. I wish I got to it more, but I get notifications and I will answer the questions. But on my normal Facebook or the group, wow, the group is a long name. It's hang on a second. Let me give you this is where I answer most of the questions at. It's called it's Bradley Powers, group by Bradley Powers, extraterrestrials, aliens, contactees, abductees, and believers. We're currently at 150,000 members.
Wow.
And whoops, let me get back. Oh, there you are. Cool. We work really, really hard to keep this a safe environment and keep all the people making fun and putting people down. We get rid of them. We'll suspend them a few times. You keep it up, then you're banned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want a good, safe, fun environment for everybody to be able to open up and share and learn.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we want. You know,
Exactly.
and when you have a good environment like that, people learn. And when you have a
Yes.
negative, people their mind is not in the same place. So that's awesome. I mean, get rid of the negativity and just stay with the positive. You know.
Open minds, open doors, closed minds, slam them shut.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I,
That's
I
right.
like to say that, you know. But yeah, I want to thank both of you for having me on the show and for all the people that joined in to listen. It's been fun and enlightening.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
anytime.
it. We had a nice little conversation there. That was great.
Yeah,
You know.
interesting, to say the least.
You know, we hit a lot of topics.
We did. The
So,
2 hours was taken up pretty quick.
yeah.
And you
Quicker than I
thought we
expected.
wouldn't have enough to talk about.
I kind of figured I can talk. They used to pay me when I was a little kid, Maureen. They'd pay me a nickel to shut up between commercials.
Yeah.
Talking's not the problem. Shutting up's the problem. Jobs. I've been fired for talking. You know.
I know. I've been told by people in our audience, on my couple of my friends and everything, that I talk too much. But better to talk too much than not talk at all.
Yeah.
True.
They say the only bad question is the question not asked.
Correct. I agree. So thank you for being with us. It was lovely. We could have you back a million times over. There's so much to talk about. And we would definitely love to have Vic and Brad and Jim here too. I mean, there's so much between all of us that we could talk about. And they're all so interesting. I mean,
They are.
everyone loves this topic. And
Yes.
we try to educate as much as possible on every topic. And we're trying to select a little bit of everything, because we don't just talk about spirits and investigations and, all of those things. We're trying to get a little bit of everything in here because we don't want to, get boring or have just one subject. So we love to have everybody back on here. So I'm going to talk to, Vic and Jim and Bradley and see if we can do that. But they're all over the place because they're in all different countries. So that makes it really difficult.
I'll tell you what, Maureen, I've been dealing with them for, a couple of years. They will make time. They will make it work.
I know they will. They're such great guys.
Great guys. Very good. I consider them like my blood family. I'm closer to those men than my blood brother.
I believe it.
God's honest, very good people. They are as equal to any of us with experiences and knowledge.
I've talked to them. They're amazing. They have so much knowledge. It's fantastic.
lot to offer.
So I don't want to keep you because I know you have to get to work, but thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure having you with us. And
thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your stuff. That's great.
Yes, you're welcome, Anthony. It's nice meeting you. I met Maureen a little earlier, but this is the first time to meet you. We got to keep in touch.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you come over to the East Coast here, like if you come to the New York area or even Jersey,
yeah,
let
well,
me know.
If we do these conferences in multiple cities, Upper New York's a beautiful area. I think for her idea, we could talk about it more, would be a great area to do it.
Well, Pine Bush.
Gotcha.
That's where the communion was.
That's a good idea because that's the kind of area she focuses on.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
we got the museum up there. I could introduce you to Lance, the operator of the museum.
That would be great. But we got to keep in touch, Anthony. I got to say, you're a drummer. I'm a bass player. We go together like peanut butter and jam.
Yeah. We
Make
are the band.
Guys.
We're the one who keeps the beat.
It is. And
people don't realize that.
Maybe someday we'll get to play music. That would be a lot of fun. My fondest memories was not sitting in a studio night after night playing the same songs over and over, trying to get signed to a contract. It was sitting in a room with a bunch of friends just playing and improvising for the love of music. Jam. Peanut butter and jam.
Jam.
That's why I say that, Anthony.
Make sure you
start on your beats, and next thing you know, you have something going.
You do. So that's the best part of music. That's pure creativity.
Yes. Yes.
Well, cool. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna get ready for my job and go try to help people on my job.
Thanks, Gary. We love you so much. I hope you have a good night at work.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, everybody. This was another great episode of Dimensions of the Supernatural. We'll see you next Thursday, same time, same place, 7:30 to 9:30 East Coast time. I love you. And Anthony?
Okay, guys, be safe out there. You want to look for ghosts, not be a ghost. Forget about it. Hey, good night.
See you next week.
Ciao.
See ya.
Ciao, familia.